Hello class. Let's start with our new chapter from geography, that is chapter 4, agriculture. Okay. So according to George Washington, what he has said about agriculture is it is the most healthful, useful and most noble employment of a man. Right? Because if there is no agriculture, what would happen to our world? From where we are going to get food to eat? Right? So whatever industries or offices, whatever is there, human resources are working over there. So for these human resources, for their energy, for their development, agriculture is very much needed. So here in this chapter, we are going to learn about the importance of agriculture, the different types of agriculture, how are they done, and for example, subsistence agriculture, intensive agriculture, primitive method, then slash and burn, then plantation system, all these things we are going to learn in this chapter. So let's begin. Agriculture for decades had been associated with the production of basic food crops. Right, from decades, our India, we have 60 to 70% of the population which is totally based on agriculture. Now we are developing in industries and all, but earlier it was mostly more people were in agriculture field. If it in family, husband, wife, children, grandparents, they are there. They all will be working in that field. That was the way how everyone used to be dependent on agriculture. Now, as our economic development is happening, we are having more industries and offices and all. So the people in the family have got segregated. Otherwise, earlier, most of them used to be in farming and non-farming activities. So now at present, agriculture besides farming includes many more things. As a part of a modern agriculture, we can say. Forestry is there, food cultivation is there, dairy poultry is there, beekeeping is there, etc. etc. Okay, and today, marketing, processing, distribution of agriculture products, etc., all are accepted as a part of a modern agriculture. Earlier, we had only traditional method of farming, but now we have modern method of farming because as the population has increased, people's need has increased. So, modern methods are also used in the agriculture. For example, high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, tractors, and then water through motors and all we are getting. Earlier, farmers were only dependent upon the rain. But now, as we have tubewells and we use water to take water from the nearby canal or nearby dam. So many modern methods are also included in our modern agriculture. And the other thing is agriculture plays a crucial role in the life of our economy. We can say that it's the backbone of our economic system. As I told you, so many development has happened, but human resource is very much important. So how will this human resource get the energy? How will they develop themselves healthy? How will they be healthy? By depending upon the agriculture. So agriculture is considered as the backbone. And not only that, it is providing us with food and raw material. So many employment opportunities also there in agriculture, and a very large proportion of people are there, as I told you, for tractors, for all type of harvesting and sowing, and then properly looking after the fields, then transportation of the agricultural things from one place to another, from wholesalers to retailers and from farms to wholesalers. Then so many industries are there which are working on the agricultural products. So here employment opportunities have also been increased because of agriculture. Okay. So now we are going to see some facts which is clearly highlighting the importance of agriculture in our country. Okay. Now here, as I told you earlier, types of farming. Okay. Depending upon our geographical conditions, our demand of produce, our labor and level of technology, our farming is divided into two main types. One is subsistence farming and the other one is commercial farming. It is dependent upon the geographical condition, the demand of produce, labor and level of technology. It's divided into two types: subsistence farming, commercial farming. Now, what is subsistence farming? Subsistence farming is actually practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Okay, what are the needs of the farmer's family? So, according to that is the subsistence farming practiced. Here, they don't use much modern method of technology. Very low level of technology is used, and labor is also very less in amount. Sometimes the members of the family may only work in the field. That also happens. And whatever the output, whatever the production comes from the subsistence farming is used for the existence of the farmer's family. They may not have that much production for what they are going to sell it in the market. They may use it for their existence. Now here, subsistence farming is again further divided into two parts. Earlier we have seen two main types, subsistence farming and commercial farming. Now subsistence farming is again further divided into two types, primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Now what is primitive? What is intensive? Intensive subsistence farming, we can say, is actually it is mostly done where densely populated countries are there, like India and China. Here what the farmers do is they are having very small land holdings. So they only produce enough for their own consumption, and whatever the remaining produce is that they use for their exchange against the other goods. They are having very small land holdings. So whatever they need for their consumption for their family, they produce that much because they are having very small land holding. They don't have big land holding hectares and hectares so that they can give it in the market also. And here, as I told you, modern methods are not used much. Very simple tools are there to produce the crop as we had in our traditional method. And here the farmers, what they do is they try to obtain maximum yield from the available lands. And for that, they use intensifying cultivation techniques. And what are they included? Preparation of paddy fields which can be used year after year because they know that their family is dependent upon this land, particular land holding. So what they do is they try to obtain maximum from that land. And for that, they use intensifying cultivation technique where they can grow that type of crop which can be used year after year. And this type of fields are found in densely populated parts of India. Okay, and they also, they may also intensify by using manure or artificial irrigation and animal waste as a fertilizer because it's a village. Right? So they may have cows, buffaloes, and bulls, and also whatever the animal waste they are having, that also they use as a fertilizer. They try to obtain maximum yield. So for that, whatever the proper manure or artificial irrigation or animal waste is there, that is used as the fertilizer. Now, primitive subsistence farming. See, first we have seen two types of farming, subsistence and the second one was commercial. Subsistence was further divided here. Primitive, intensive, two. Okay. And then we have seen what is intensive farming. Now we are going to see what is primitive. And under primitive also again there are two divisions. One is shifting cultivation and the other one is nomadic herding. See, shifting cultivation, I know that you people know that because we are learning it from 8th and 9th. Shifting cultivation means slash and burn cultivation, zooming. Okay. And nomadic herding. Nomadic herding also we have done in 9th standard. Here, actually in shifting cultivation, what they do is a plot of land is cleared, whatever trees or plants or shrubs or whatever is there, they just cut it off and whatever the remains are there, they burn. And the ashes of those trees, what they do is they mix it with the soil to make the soil more fertile. And crops like maize, yam, potatoes, cassavas are grown in this land. Now, after using the land for one or two times of crop, what happens is the soil loses its fertility. Now, what the thing is, the cultivator or the person who was using the land will now not use the land anymore. They will leave the land and then they will move to a new plot. That is shifting cultivation. It's they are slashing and burning. So the name is slash and burn cultivation or zooming agriculture or zooming cultivation. Okay, a plot of land cleared by whatever trees or plants are there, then burning it, and the ashes are mixed with the soil to make the soil more fertile, then using it for crops like maize and potatoes and cassava, and after using it for one or two times crop, as the soil loses the fertility, they move to new crops. Shifting cultivation, otherwise called slash and burn agriculture or zooming cultivation. Now is nomadic herding. Nomadics means we know that those people who move from one place to another with their animals for fodder and water. So nomadic herding means these are the herders who move from one place to another with their animals. Right? In 9th century we had a proper chapter for nomadic herding also. Right? So here mostly, commonly reared animals are, for example, sheep are there, camel is there, yak is there, goats are there. So this is mostly practiced in semi-arid and arid regions of Sahara. And the people who are examples of nomadic herdings, we can say, are nomadic Bhotias and Gujars of the Himalayas. There are so many nomadic herders. Okay, last time we had a map only which had the whole assignment of marking different herders and all, Gujars and all. So here they move from one place to another. They keep on moving with their animals with them. Okay. Now commercial farming. Commercial farming means here this type of crops or animals, they are grown and reared for sale in market. Okay, commercial farming only does not include crops. Animals are also reared here and they are not for the family consumption of the farmer. It's for sale in market. And here the area of cultivation will be very large. So here mostly they use machines for working. Amount of human labor is very low in commercial farming. Very less we can say, means, because it's a very big farm, right? So they need all what we say modern techniques because production is needed more. They use HYV seeds and all. Then they use all type of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and then some they do organic type of cultivation also. And for giving it in the market for more profit and all, they try for a proper what we say machine intensive farming where labor is not used that much. Now next is agriculture related to plantation agriculture. What is plantation agriculture? Plantation agriculture, we can say that here, as we say, uh, a land or a hill area or a mountain area, here mostly we can what we can also say that some, not all, okay, some type of uh, tea, coffee, rubber, these type of plants they are, or this type of crops they are used for plantation agriculture. You can see single crop. Okay, you can see in the picture also single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, cotton. They are grown in this plantations. Here and here mostly what they do is, for example, if I am a person, I am a wholesale I have a wholesale shop. So what I do is I sign a contract with the farmer that this time I will be collecting your crops, or I will be collecting whatever plantation you are having, and I will sign a contract with them. It may be for 1 year or 2 year. So what they do is whatever production they have in their plantation area during that year, that crops will be whole and soul will be sold to me. That is mostly done in plantation. Here there will be no different crops. Multiple cropping will be not done here because it's a single crop which is grown there, and mostly this type of crops are only grown in plantation: tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, cotton, and all. We don't have plantations for wheat and rice and all. Okay, so single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, cottons are grown in this plantation agriculture. Okay, so plantation requires large amount of labor and capital. As I told you, it's a very large area, and as they have already signed the contract and all with the person, they have to be very much what we say, they have to very much secure their things, because as I have signed the contract, okay, if any problem happens or if I'm not looking forward to my production properly, then I may not get the, I may not renew the, that person will not renew the contract. So here I have to be very much, what we say, very much proper in my production. So here they need require large amount of labor and capital, and the product of the plantation is processed in the farm itself or in the nearby factories. Whatever the product of the plantation is, that is processed in the farm itself or in the nearby factories. And a well-developed transport system is essential for plantation type of farming. As I told you, because as they must have signed the contract, the person must be living somewhere far. So for a proper transport and for proper profit and all, what they do is they use well-developed transport system, which is very much essential for plantation type of farming. And mostly major plantations of the world, they are found in the tropical regions of the world. Okay. For example, they have given rubber in Malaysia, is there, coffee in Brazil, and tea in India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so I believe you understand about plantation. Large amount of labor and capital is required because they have to be they have to take care of it very properly. And the product of the plantation is processed in the farm itself or in the nearby factories. And they keep a well-developed transportation system for moving the plantation processed plantation crops from one place to another. And it is mostly seen in the tropical regions of the world. I'm again doing a fast recap of the thing. Agriculture, which is an important factor, important economic backbone which we have. It's for decades. It's related with basic production of basic food crops. Modern farming has taken place now with modern technology, and it plays a crucial role in the life of our economy. It is considered as the backbone of our economy. And why it is considered as backbone is it not only provides food and raw materials, it also provides employment opportunity to a very large proportion. Two types of farming we have seen: subsistence and agriculture. Subsistence means the farmer is doing this type of farming to meet the needs of his family, and here very small amount of labor is used. Mostly they don't hire labor, the family members itself, they work in the farm, and they don't use much technology, very low level of technology is there. Subsistence farming is again further divided into primitive and intensive. Intensive means it's mostly done in very densely populated countries. The farmers use their small land holdings and they try to produce, they try to get maximum yield from their land because it's mainly for their own consumption, and whatever remaining is there that they do keep it for the exchange for goods in the market. Here you can see the picture also, small land holdings. They use very simple tools, they don't use modern technology. Primitive subsistence farming, which is further divided into shifting cultivation, nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn or zooming agriculture or cultivation. Here, what they do is whatever the land they have, they will clear the trees and all, and they will burn it, and whatever the ashes is there, they will mix it with the soil so that it becomes fertile. Then they will grow crops like maize, yam, potatoes, and all. And then after one or two times of the crop, the soil loses its fertility, and then the cultivator they leave the land and then they select the new plot. Nomadic herding, here herders they move from one place to another with their animals for fodder and water because they are totally dependent upon their animals. They don't have anything. They may be having a small farm or something. Yeah, that will be seen by their family members who are living at their home. Maybe their wife or their parents or their children and all. But mostly they are dependent upon their animals. Okay. So for their fodder and water, they keep on moving from one place to another. As we have seen in Einstein about northern Himalaya, from there they move to southern Himalaya. When the snow melts again, they move back to their home like that. And mostly sheep, camel, yak, and goats are therefore commonly reared. And examples are given here, Botias and Gujas. And this type of nomadic herding is mainly seen in the semi-arid and arid regions. Commercial farming, which is crops are also grown, animals are also reared, and that is totally for the sale in the market. Here the cultivation area of cultivation is very large, so it is mostly machine intensive farming is done here. Labor is very less. Plantation agriculture, where single crop is grown like tea, coffee, sugar cane, cashew, rubber, banana, cotton. And here large amount of labor and capital is needed because they have to take care of the plantation agriculture because it will be in a very large amount, and transportation system should also be very proper to move it from one place to another. And the product whatever we get from the plantation, it is processed in the nearby factories or in the farm itself, and it is mostly seen in the tropical regions of the world. Examples are rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India, and Sri Lanka. Okay, so I believe you understood the lesson. Thank you.